Hello there. Okay, so before we start this, I just need to explain I'm recovering from an absolutely horrific cold at the minute, so I'm afraid my voice is not quite back to normality. So if I'm a little bit croaky, I apologise in advance. So what I've got for you today is something that I doubt very much that any of you will have actually seen before. This is a garage kit. It's a very, very nice one, and it's a really interesting and unusual subject. So I hope this is of interest, and as I say, I'll give you all the details as we go. So what we have here is this kit. Now this is a kit. I hope the light is not. Let's see, if I leave it flat, the light reflects into the camera. So if I do that, I hope you can see this. This is a kit by a company called Imaquinaria. Now, this is actually a company from Chile. So, as I say, all the names and things are in Spanish, so I apologise in advance to anybody who's familiar with Spanish. My pronunciation will likely be atrocious because I'm afraid Spanish is not a language I have any familiarity with at all. So as I say, this is the company is Imaquinaria. I ordered this from Chile. Arrived last week. Didn't take too long to arrive. About 2 weeks, I think, which is not bad at all. And considering the distance involved, the postage was very reasonable. And I didn't get caught for any customs fees, which is also very good. Anyway, I was going to say, nice little box here. Fairly small, fairly compact. It did come, I have actually opened it, but it did come taped up, so sealed there. And this sort of label is also sealed at both sides on the underneath. So what this is a 1/35th scale kit, which is an unusual scale for the subject, as you'll see in a moment. And this is actually part of what is called the Cafe Air Racer collection, which is the range that Imaquinaria make. As I say, I hope you can see that there. Cafe Air Racer collection. They have a range of designs available, and this is a kit that I actually got. They ran a little sale recently, so normally, excuse me. Normally this kit is $95, 95 US dollars, but it was on quite a nice reduction. It was down to $65, plus about another 10 or 15, I think the postage was, which is very, very reasonable for what it is. So let's have a look. Let's say nice compact little box, reasonably, probably, I don't know, maybe 300 grams altogether, so not terribly heavy. And what we have here, the kit is called the Chercán. I'm afraid, again, my pronunciation of that is likely dreadful. But the Chercán, a Chercán is it's the Spanish word for a house wren, the tiny little bird. And what this is an air racer. So this is a really interesting design of aircraft. I'd say 1/35th is an unusual scale for aircraft. They're usually 1/48 or 1/32 they go to. But it doesn't matter. I mean, it's pretty close to 1/32 anyway. So what you get in the box, first of all, you get this nice layout of the parts, which is very handy. Always useful with these garage kits to be able to check that you've got all the bits before you start. So you get that. You then get this lovely, really nicely printed art card, which shows you some of the various sort of paint schemes that they've come up with. So you get 3 there. And this as well, you get this really nice little postcard, which is more of a painting of this design, which is really nice. The company does actually do they do a whole set of these of all their different designs. You can buy just a set of postcards, which is nice. And there you have the kit itself. So let's go through all these bits and we'll talk through as we go. So first of all, you have 2 crew figures. You have a seated pilot figure, and I don't know if this is a pilot or if this is a ground crew as well, but you can see that the sat figure has the paw stubs still attached. There are quite a lot there, but I imagine that this is quite a tricky piece to cast. And what you can actually, I don't know how well you'll be able to see this, but unfortunately, due to a little casting flaw, the leg is broken off in the packaging. That's not a massive issue, to be honest. As I say, these are this is a garage kit. You'd expect to do some cleanup and possibly some repairs as well, and that's going to be a really trivial fix, to be honest. So yeah, so there you've got a pilot and a I think it's a standing pilot. I think it's the same. Yes, I think it's the same character. It's a female figure actually, which is unusual. So next up, you've got some more of these. These are landing gear struts, I think. Compared to these look to be 31 and 32, which is the landing gear legs. Again, they've still got these the mold stubs attached. Again, not a problem. Those will be nice and easy to clean up. And yeah. So the last pack of grey parts, you've got wheels in there and some various struts and bits and bobs as well. I'll say I'm not going to go through each part in detail here. These are little detail parts. So you've got wheels, and I think there's a seat in there, and there's some other little bits as well. But yeah, excuse me, my voice is terrible today, I must say. So next little pack, you've got the two propellers. This is one of these. It's a contra-rotating propeller. So it's got two propellers, and one turns one turns one way and one turns the other. So you get a really nice sort of aggressive look on the front of the aircraft, which is a nice touch because it's quite a rare feature. I mean, it didn't really appear until quite late in the sort of the life cycle of propeller aircraft. It was sort of the there were several during the course of the Second World War, and then they obviously propeller engines petered out quite quickly after the Second World War with the rise of jet power. But it's a nice thing to see. So we've got a nice injection moulded canopy in here, isn't it? Not injection moulded, sorry, vacuum formed canopy in here. And I don't know what those are. Let's have a look. Those appear to be the cockpit walls in there. So you've got, oh yeah, so you've got some little control parts on there, and that's the sides of the cockpit. You've also got in here what looks to be I don't quite know what that is, but you've got all the instrument panels under there, and they look like they've been, I don't know, maybe machined on this piece of plastic, which is not something I've seen before. But yeah, that should be interesting. So then we're coming on to the main airframe parts. So you've got these two rather meaty looking fuselage halves. Pretty solid resin. These are quite heavy. They look to be really nice and cleanly done actually. There's very little in the way of cleanup going to be done here. Maybe a little bit of sanding. The surface looks to be pretty smooth. And there are no enormous paw stubs or anything. Little ones at the back there, but that's... Oh no, sorry, I apologise. That's the rudder hinges, so no, those aren't going to come off. A bit of cleanup you'll need there, but again, resin kit, not surprising. This is the engine cowling. I'd say it's a really quite a brutal looking design, this, but it should look really good when it's done. So you get engine cowling parts there. Next up, the wings. So you've got two wings and two aileron pieces that are separate there. That's quite a nice touch. You can build it with the control surfaces deflected, which is always nice. The last bag of bits, you've got tail pieces here. So you've got the rudder, and the elevators and the tail planes there. Again, a little bit more cleanup with those. These are still on their paw stubs, but again, you expect it with a kit like this. So, lastly in the box, we have the marking sheets. So these are quite unusual looking, actually. I think these are possibly these have possibly been printed without separate carrier films, so these are going to have to be cut out in order to be applied to the model. And you've got what looks like masks here as well. I think, anyway, these are sort of part cut. I don't know how well I'll be able to see this, it's very faint, but these are partly cut out. So I suspect these are to help with the application of the decals, but we'll go on to that in a second. So the last thing in the box is the instructions. Really nicely printed these are, I must say. They're obviously in colour and a really nice standard. So this just walks you through the construction process. Again, I hope my lights aren't reflecting off this as I'm holding at an angle. So if I lay it flat, you're going to get a lot of glare. So yeah, so all the control pieces pop out of that flat piece that they've been sort of etched into. So you've got the layout of the cockpit. Is a fairly standard construction method. So cockpit first, excuse me. Then the fuselage halves all goes together, nice and straightforward. Then you've got the separate propeller assembly. And then the wings, and finally the landing gear. I believe you can build this with the landing gear up. I have seen a sort of a demonstration model where this was mounted on a stand. This doesn't come with one, unfortunately, but it should be fairly easy to make. I mean, you get a piece of board or a big piece of plastic, piece of perspex or something, drill it, piece of brass rod, drill into the bottom of the fuselage. There's plenty of resin in here. As you can see, there's a really nice thickness in there, so you can drill into there and that should hold it just fine. So yeah, as I say, this is a Chilean company, Imaquinaria. I will put the links to the company website and things in the description. I'll also link to one of their. I'll put a link here to one of their little. They've done some very brief sort of taster videos showing this kit in particular. They appear to have not a lot else on the website at the moment. When I looked, there was this model available. There were a couple of ground crew figures, pilots and mechanics and things. And I could say a collection of these postcards with all the different designs on, which are really nice. And I think that's perhaps some posters as well. I can't quite remember. I say they have several other designs as well, but I imagine that they're going to be producing those again at some point. They also, very interestingly, recently on their Facebook page, they announced a mecha model. Which is one that I will definitely be getting because I'm a bit of a mecha fan, as you'll have seen from my other videos. So yeah, a really interesting little company that I haven't seen anywhere at all. I mean, I ran into these people completely by chance on the internet. I stumbled across something and I thought, ooh, that looks interesting, and I've gone from there. But I will definitely be ordering from them again in future. As I say, it was they ran a sale, but again, the kits are pretty reasonably priced for what they are. So you've got a lot of pieces here. I think it's so you've got 36 parts here, and plus the windshield, which is decent for a resin kit. So some of them I've seen have far fewer parts than that. You've got really nice part separation. As I say, if you check the video that I've linked to, you'll see some of the sort of the painting process, because of the separation you can paint this really nicely, and you can get really interesting sort of colour separation like this very easily, because you don't have to worry too much about masking off all the other bits, because you can paint, say, these cowling sections before you actually attach them, which is a big help in some circumstances. Excuse me, sorry, my voice is fading rapidly here. So yeah, to wrap up, really interesting design, really nice kit from what I can see. Few little issues, you know, some cleanup and a few repairs to do, but I can't really hold that against the manufacturer. As I say, it is a garage kit. It's low run resin. I suspect this is all the moulds and everything are made by hand, is cast by hand, and the results look pretty good, to be honest. As I say, I've seen far worse kits than this for the same and sometimes more money, in fact, so you're getting a good deal here. Anyway, so to wrap up, thank you for watching. If you've got any comments, please leave them below. Any questions at all, ask away, send me a message, whatever. I'm going to be posting this to various places. As I say, I've got this YouTube channel. I'll also be posting it on a few of the modelling groups I'm a member of on Facebook. So check that out as well. Again, links are in the description. And I will probably post it to Twitter as well. Again, all the details in the description. So yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for putting up with my croaky voice and my poor attempts at Spanish pronunciation. As I say, really impressed with this company. Their customer service was great as well. I got an email immediately after ordering saying thank you for your order. I then got another one a couple of days later saying that saying that it was ready to be sent out, and yeah, I say it took around about 2 weeks, I think, to get from Chile to Britain, which is pretty good, really. I know there are some issues with postal services in South America that I've heard about. I think Brazil is particularly bad, but clearly the Chilean system seems to work pretty well. As I say, this is a really nice, unusual sort of concept for a subject, for a model range. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what this company does in the future. I say I'll definitely be ordering from them again because they've been flawless, basically. You know, the service was great. There were no hiccups, no problems at all. And as I say, from what I've seen from the kit, it's a really nice quality. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.